Today we are talking what is good for your game and what is bad for your game, because we're going to be making a lot of mistakes out on the golf course, and I reckon we could change them with some better ideas. Let's get stuck into this lesson. So, what is bad for our game? We've got one golf ball here for bad and we've got one golf ball for good. And one of the big things that I see players doing out on the golf course a lot, which is really bad for our golf game, is having too many swing thoughts. Now, I know that sounds strange from a guy who makes YouTube videos all about swings, but the issue would be, let's say here now, as I stand to this flag, it's 70 yards away for me. And the other day, do you know what? I watched me in my golf video on pitching, and what those guys said was that I have to try and get the ball a little bit more neutral. I want to feel the weight there. Then as I take the club back, I want to try and set my wrists to 90 degrees to this point. Then I've got to imagine that my rotation is happening. I'm transferring that weight. And then it doesn't work on that shot. So then on the next shot, what I actually did as well the following evening was watch a Rick Shields video, and he said something a little bit different about not using as much wrist. And what we can do is get too bogged down with swing thoughts. So as I stand over this golf ball, I'm trying to make a million swing thoughts, remember to set my wrist, my weight's there, do that, and everything that I do. Oh, and eventually, oh, has it come up? No, it's short of the green. And you know what, I've just missed the green with a 70-yard wedge. As where, what is good for our game is having one swing thought. You might be seeing a golf coach at the minute, you might be having lessons, and they might give you one thought that you want to take to the golf course. Or if you've been watching loads of videos, what I would say is stick with one thought from one of the videos and don't change it on every single shot around the golf course. Whether you've got one feeling for pitching, one feeling for your iron swings and one swing for your drivers, that's completely fine, but just stick with it. So when I'm stood now over this pitch, I know for myself, one thing I'm trying to do when I pitch is not get across it as much. So I actually feel I want to be playing a little draw as I'm pitching, and that is my one swing thought. So as I stand to it now, I know the distance I want to try and pitch this golf ball, 70 yards. I know my one swing thought is all about having that little bit of a draw as I'm going through it. And there, a much crisper strike, and it's about 6 feet away. And it was a much simpler process for myself. Instead of trying to check off a load of things that I've been watching or been told to do, I just have that one simple thought. It's really good for my game. I'm not getting bogged down by changing my swing thought every time I'm faced with a new shot. Let's go and find out what else is good and what else is bad for our golf games. The next thing that is bad for our golf game is carrying bad shots with us. So here, I've missed the green to the left-hand side. It's a little bit of a tricky up and down. But as I stand over this now, instead of saying, right, well, the job now that I have to do is get that ball onto the green and get it as close as possible to make my putt as easy as possible, I stand over it and think, I can't believe I had a wedge in then. And as I've done that, I've missed that green. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's like missing your mouth with a spoon, missing a green with a wedge. Oh, right, God, I can't believe it. The swing was so bad. I don't even think I turned on that last wedge shot. I think it was just absolutely awful as I've got... Oh. Right, how bad's that wedge shot? That's not great. And now, because I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, because I'm thinking so much about the shot that I've just hit and I'm carrying it with me, I might carry it for 3 or 4 holes. I know I used to when I was a junior and when I was playing a lot of golf. I would still be annoyed about the shot that I hit on the 3rd when I was on the 8th hole. It's done, it's in the past, I can't do anything about it. I can't go back and play it again. So a good thing for our golf game, once we get into this situation again now, is saying, right, well, do you know what, I missed the green with that wedge then. That was pretty poor. Maybe that's something I need to look at when I go and practice afterwards. If we think of Louis Oosthuizen, the Open Championship's just been on, we wouldn't know whether he hit a bad or good golf shot. He was always smiling, always looked calm, looked cool, collected, so we didn't know what was going on, and that's what we need to do. If we want to be playing better golf and stop making mistakes from a technical standpoint, here now, yes, I've missed the green and I'm faced with this tricky little shot, but do you know what? I've got an opportunity to rectify that bad shot, because if I hit a great chip and leave myself with a nice little putt now, it's done. I've managed to save myself. Yes, I've passed up a possible birdie opportunity, but what I've not done is what I did a minute ago and fire it past here. So once we actually get to our next shot, or as we're walking away from our previous shot, maybe give ourselves 10 paces, 10 seconds to get away from it. And then as soon as we get to our next golf shot, what is the task at hand? Forget what's just happened. What do I need to do here and now to hit a great golf shot? And for me, it's just landing it up near the fringe, maybe just onto the green. And then that shall trickle up with a little bit of spin and I should hit a pretty good golf shot. And now already my focus is back on what I have to do here, the feeling for this shot. And now, if we can get a good one away, little bit heavy-handed, but do you know what? From this situation, it's a million times better than that shot I've just hit. So instead of carrying those bad shots with us for holes and holes all the way around and even into the bar afterwards, you're telling your mate how bad you hit that one, get rid of it. Give yourself 10 paces. It's done. Forget about it. Move on. Good thing for your game is focusing on your next shot and the task at hand. Let's go and find out another thing that is bad for our game and what to do to make it good. Right then, come on, let's roll this one in. Good stroke. Just outside the right, half an inch. Oh, that's nice, that's brilliant, because I've made that par now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to walk over to the 15th tee, and the 15th a par 5 here at Warrington, so I'm going to birdie that. That'll take me back to 1 under par. Then the 16th, that's a par 3, so I'll par that one. And the 17th a par 5 as well. Do you know what? So I'll birdie that one. That takes me to 2 under. And then 18's a tricky par 4, so yeah, I'll par that one. So that means I've shot 2 under. This is bad for our golf games. If we are already making plans for what we're about to shoot, actually plotting out the scores we're going to make, it can bring expectations that we don't want on our game. It can bring in emotions that if I don't make a birdie down this 15th hole, oh, well, that's the plan ruined. How am I going to shoot 2 under now? I can't do it. But what if I made par down this hole and then I got a hole in one on the par 3 16th? Does that mean that it doesn't count? No. My dad always used to say to me, stop planning what you're doing, just focus on that shot at hand. And that is what we need to do. As I walk onto this 15th tee now, yes, I've just made a great par save there on the 14th. I know I want to hit a good driver, so I'll take my driver out of my golf bag. Instead of thinking, well, it's that par 5 that I've got to make that birdie on. What I want to be thinking is about how do I hit a good drive down this golf hole? Because this is the shot that I am now facing. I can make birdie still hitting it in the trees up here. I might pitch my 3rd one in for an eagle. Does that mean that I have to add a penalty shot to make it that birdie? But what I've got to do, like I say, is make sure that when I'm stood over this shot now, I'm focused on this shot. We can't plan our score. And even if we took it to another extent, so many times people will say, well, the 9th hole's coming up. I've not been playing that well on the front 9. On the 9th, I'm going to reset myself and I'm going to have a great back 9. So if you're on the 7th, does that mean that you have to play the 8th and the 9th poorly to then start good golf on the back 9? No. Do it on this shot. If you can then stand over a bit like the one before and say, what is at hand here now? I'm fully focused. As long as I can hit my little fade down the middle of the fairway here, that will start me on a roll to maybe making a good score on this hole. Just like that one. I've got my fade ripping down there. It's down the middle of the fairway, and now I can get up there and potentially hit a good second shot to set me up for that birdie maybe. But if I don't make it, there's plenty of other opportunities where I can still make good golf shots. So bad for our golf game is planning our score, looking at it. You don't own your score until you've actually hit every shot and you've signed that card at the bottom. A good way to look at it, play every shot one at a time, be in the moment, be present. What does it require, that shot there? Even if you don't quite get the birdie that you were thinking of, there's still plenty of opportunities out there. If we can do that, we're going to start making better golf scores, guys. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this lesson this week. If you have, do remember to hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in your next lesson.